Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about the official rules that actually shape your day-to-day at work? Well, today we're going to crack open India's workplace rulebook, and we'll do it with a quick, fun pop quiz on the labor laws that cover everything from your hours to your rights.
So, what even are labor laws? You can think of them as the official rulebook for a fair and safe workplace. They're designed to balance the power between employers and employees, to make sure everybody gets a fair shake.
And trust me, this rulebook is pretty thick. Just take a look at this list, and this is just a handful of the big ones. These acts cover everything from safety on a factory floor to how you get paid and how arguments get settled. It's this whole system that's been built up over decades, all to protect workers.
But, seeing a list of laws is one thing. Knowing what they actually mean for you is something else entirely. So I figured, why not have a little fun with it? Ready for a pop quiz to see how much you know? Let's find out. All right, for our first round, we're talking about the absolute basics, the time you put in and the money you get out. These are pretty much the core of any job, right?
Okay, question number 1. This goes way back to the Factories Act of 1948. It sets a clear limit on the standard work week. What do you think it is? 40, 44, 48, or 50 hours? Go ahead and lock in your answer. And the correct answer is 48. Yep, the maximum work week is set at 48 hours. Now, the important thing here is that this isn't just some random number they pulled out of a hat. The 48-hour limit, plus other rules about daily hours and mandatory rest, is all there specifically to protect workers' health and well-being. It's about preventing burnout and keeping people safe.
Okay, next up, let's talk about getting paid. The law is super specific about how you're supposed to receive your wages, mainly to avoid any, let's call it, funny business. So what's the official rule here?
And the answer is, payment has to be in actual currency, so in cash or through a bank transfer. The whole reason for this is to guarantee transparency and make sure there's a clear, accountable record of payment. So no, your boss can't pay you in company merchandise.
All right, on to round 2. Now we're going to look at the laws that act as your safety net. These are the rules that kick in during those huge life moments, or if something unexpected happens. This is a huge one, and it actually changed not too long ago. So, for new mothers who are eligible, how many weeks of paid leave does the law guarantee? Take a look at your options.
If you guessed 26 weeks, you are absolutely right. That's a full 6 months of paid time off, a really significant benefit for working parents.
And this is a perfect example of how these laws are not set in stone. They evolve. The leave was more than doubled, from 12 weeks all the way up to 26, to provide much better support for the health of both the mother and the newborn. It was a really important step forward. Of course, nobody wants to even think about getting hurt at work, but it happens. So if it does, which one of these laws is the one that steps in to provide a financial safety net?
That would be the Workmen's Compensation Act. This is the legal backbone that makes sure if you get injured on the job, you're not just left high and dry. It covers financial support for everything from medical bills for small injuries all the way to compensation for serious disability.
And we're on to our final round. This last section is all about the bigger system, what happens when things go wrong, and how problems are supposed to get solved.
So let's say there's a major disagreement, maybe about a firing or unsafe working conditions. Where do you turn? What is the official legal channel for getting that dispute resolved?
And the correct answer is C, labor courts and tribunals. These aren't just regular courts. They are specialized judicial bodies created specifically to handle these types of workplace issues.
The whole point of having these special courts is to make the process fair. It takes a dispute out of a messy he said, she said argument and puts it into a formal, structured legal process where both sides can present their case and an impartial decision can be made.
And that's our quiz. How'd you do? Pretty interesting, right? So now, let's just zoom out for a second and talk about the big picture, why all of this really truly matters.
Because, after all these questions about hours and weeks and different acts, it can be easy to lose sight of what this is all really about. It's so much more than just a dry list of rules.
When you get right down to it, this entire legal framework is built on a foundation of a few core principles. It's about making sure every single person gets fair treatment, that they have safe working conditions, and ultimately, it's about pushing for social justice in our economy.
And that kind of brings us to our final thought for the day. I mean, the world of work is changing incredibly fast. You've got remote work, the gig economy, AI. So the big question we're left with is this. What will the next version of this rulebook need to look like to keep things fair and safe for everyone?
Thanks for digging into this with me.